back to Hawk Talk. We're back in the wrestling room with Coach. Coach had a couple meets and tournaments since we've last spoken with you, and some success at home. Tyler Plummer happened since we last talked, so dating back to those duels and getting to the Tyler Plummer a little bit. Let folks know how we did.
Yeah, we had two good duels the night before the Tyler Plummer tournament. We wrestled Montana State Northern, the number 2 team in the country, and then we wrestled Great Falls, who's a top 10 team. Both two really good teams. We ended up coming up a little short, 4, maybe 6 points short against Montana State Northern. Wrestled well there. We ended up getting a win against Great Falls, so felt pretty good about that. Still things to work on and stuff like that. After that, had a good tournament at the Tyler Plummer. A couple guys in the finals. Had some good finishes there, so it was nice for the guys to be able to stay at home and not have so much traveling and get some good matches in.
Now, since then, we've also had a couple, Taylor in particular, recognized for National Wrestler of the Week honors. Talk a little bit about what he's been able to accomplish this senior year.
Yeah, Taylor's been having a great year. He's been having a great season. Really focused, really disciplined. He ended up getting the very last NAI Wrestler of the Week award. So, and for due cause, had a great go of things. Been getting some good matches in. Has some really good wins. I think right now he's ranked number 4 in the country. So it's a good spot for him.
We had some other seniors. It was senior night last week against Minot State. You want to touch on a few of the seniors and what they've meant to the program over their 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, we've got some great seniors that have been very integral in leadership and in the room and out of the room as well. Practice leadership, locker room leadership, campus leadership, all those things. So Trevor Conrad being a senior, starting at the top with the big guy, been a great leader for us. Very consistent year in, year out, hard worker, just very hard worker. We've got Jason Armitage as well at 174, been just very consistent. Year in, year out, shows up, don't have to worry about him being in practice. He's going to be there, he's going to do well in school. Great kid. We also have Taylor Odell at 65. We've talked about him a little bit, some good success this last year. Taylor last year came around short of being an All-American. This year I think we're going to see a big turnaround on that and have some high hopes for Taylor. Pat Tangen at 57, seems like when Pat was a sophomore, guys were turning to him as a leader and they thought he was a team captain. And I think that's kind of the running joke is Pat's always been here. What are we going to do when Pat's not here? Pat's been a great leader. We're excited for Pat and the future that he has in his career and all those kind of things. So that's a big deal. Jordan Delp, been around for a while as well from Montana. And we have Deshaun Haynes also at 225. Seems like it's been a real nice staple to have that 25-pounder around for 4 years and very consistent and very disciplined and always have that kind of rock to get us started on for duels at 125.
So now looking forward, we got regionals this weekend. Kind of explain the dynamics there and how that can potentially lead to a national appearance.
Yeah, so our regional qualifying tournament, they don't really call it a regional anymore, they just call it a qualifying tournament, but we're in the central group. That puts us with some really good teams across the country. Grandview, the number 1 team in the country. Missouri Valley, they're a top 5 team in the country. Puts us in some good groups. Baker out of Kansas is in there. Some traveling for us. We got to go down to Marshall, Missouri for that tournament. But top 3 in the tournament automatically qualify for the national tournament. Then there's 5 at-large bids. Coaches vote on those as 5 at-large bids. And then there's 15 that go to a selection committee for the entire country. So essentially each region gets their 3 placers in each weight class, 5 extras for all 10 weight classes, and then 15 get spread out through the entire country for all the region qualifiers. So you got to show up and you got to wrestle hard and you got to prove yourself at this one last tournament to get into the national tournament to get yourself a ticket to the big show. So we're excited.
Alrighty, Coach. Best of luck there.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. We're joined by Coach here. Coach, it's been a while. Had a couple meets since we've last talked, so just highlight some of the team and individual performances since we've spoken.
Well, last time we spoke, was right before we left for Gillette, Wyoming, where we competed at a little quad meet. About 4 teams, 5 teams kind of were there and competed. So we were there and kind of actually had some really good performances. We had Josh Torgensen just shy of making a national qualifying mark in the high jump. We had a lot of guys improve on their individual events. Jay Liggins had a lot of improvements there as well. Some of the girls had a lot of improvements as well. And then we also had our men's 4x4 win the whole entire meet, out kicking some of our local competition like Black Hill State down the wire. And so it was fun. That was a fun meet. And then we just got back from South Dakota State, big meet they have, and that's located down in Brookings, South Dakota. You had about 20 teams at this meet, and you had easily in each event, you had easily about a good 30 plus kids. So it was very high competition, and it was all levels of competition. So we had the D1s, the D2s, the JUCOs, the NAIAs. So we got to basically compete against a lot of the best of the Midwest. We actually walked away very successful. We had a total of 25 personal best. We also had Jose Choro. He hit the A standard in the 60 hurdles during the prelims, and he actually finished the meet overall 6th place out of 48 people. So needless to say, he had a great showing there on that. And then Jay Liggins actually hit the provisional standard for NAI, jumping 46 feet in the triple jump, which so that's another guy we have qualified for nationals, which is great. And then other than that, everybody else, like I said, was having personal best or season best, and we're walking away pretty successful after this weekend. Just ready to move on for the next big one.
All right, now, if I understand correctly, there were a little bit of the conference meet started these last couple days, and we took home one of those events. So, what explain kind of the dynamic of how the conference track meet works indoors and how we did.
And the way it works this year is they actually have a separate multi-championship as well as the conference championship. The multi-championship is for those who do the pentathlon, the heptathlon. So pentathlon's for the women, heptathlon's for the men. So basically, what it does is you basically just have those guys and gals competing in those events for the multi meets, and they compete within the day, 2 days that they are. So Sunday and Monday we had 3 boys. We had Tommy Cease, Jalen Hendrickson, and Bo Ackerman. All 3 of them went to go compete in that and represent Dickinson State, and they did really well. All 3 of them walked away with personal best, and then Tommy Cease walked away with the title, which is big for us, and it's good for him because that's the second time in his career that he's won that meet. And then we also had Jalen, who placed for us. He placed 6th overall, which scored a point for us. So walking away from just one event for conference, where we had 11 points for team score, which plays a big effect into down the road when we get to Saturday when we have the rest of the events.
So is that Saturday is the kind of conclusion of all the other events? Where's that going to be?
So Saturday is going to be hosted back down at Brookings, South Dakota, at the same facility we were just at. So for us it was a nice advantage that we got to go to the meet we went to this past weekend, so that we have an idea what we're running on, where the boards are, all that stuff for our competition. And so and plus walking away with as much success as we had over the past weekend, it's definitely going to give us a good confidence going into the meet. I'm not going to try to toot my own horn, or I'm not going to try to get ahead of myself, but I honestly believe that we are walking away and we're getting ready for this weekend, and I think we are in a position that we are going to be very successful, and there's no doubt in my mind that this team can walk away with a couple of titles.
Awesome, that's what we like to hear. One logistical question. I was actually looking at the results from this last weekend. some events had up to 120 participants. So how long does that take to get through the 200-meter dash or something like that when you have that many going?
A lot of it really depends on how they run the meet and how efficient their workers are. Luckily, South Dakota State's they're very keen on making sure that everyone gets a good experience with it. And so when it comes down to it, I mean, they send emails out to us coaches saying, hey, make sure your kids check in an hour and a half prior to,
Sure.
so that we can make cuts if needed and all that stuff. And really, it's for those who really don't pay attention to track and field that much or have never really been to a track meet. There's a lot of kind of they always call them up, get them to their blocks, get them going. Well, a lot of times, a lot of places, depending on how they manage it, sometimes they lollygag a little bit in between. But when you're at this meet, they literally said they need to be ready to go. If they're not ready, we're gonna keep running.
Sure.
So I mean, you literally just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's so I mean, it takes time. It really does, and and sometimes it's almost hard to really predict when you need to warm up and stuff. But
yeah, I can imagine.
But the nice thing is for this meet they usually they're pretty proficient and they're actually pretty good at making sure things are done and they're on a time schedule rather than a rolling clock schedule. Which when you go to a lot of smaller meets, if you do a rolling clock schedule, it's you never know how long it's really going to take. And, so you may have some kids, if you're trying to have them do multiple events, they're almost rushing to event
Figure
to
out where
event.
they're
But South Dakota State, they really did a good job hosting the meet, so things went smooth and things were, they're transitioning really well from heat to heat, to event to event, and so forth. So
Won't be an issue this weekend with all of the North Star teams.
no, it'll be a little smaller than what we just experienced, but when it comes down to competition, you gotta be able to you have to be able to handle any kind of competition you have, and so a lot of these kids, this is the first true big track meet they've been to in college, and also you want to make sure that you have kids that are ready to compete under any kind of conditions that they come up, and I think, in all honesty, our kids handled it very well. Our kids came and they ran strong. They were just being tough fighters about everything. And I mean, when it comes down to it, you, as a coach, when you see 25 personal records being broken on a single weekend, you just you know things are going in the right direction. And, so we're very excited. We're very thrilled and pumped. Now we're looking forward to conference, and we're starting to load our guns up and trying to figure out where we're going to score the most points at, and see how everything shakes out. And like I said, we're definitely in a position where we could walk away with titles, and as my first year as a head coach, that'd be a big accomplishment for me.
Awesome. Well, best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can be successful as the potential is there for us. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. We're joined by one of our track athletes. Want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Tommy Cease, and I'm from Bismarck.
All right, Tommy, you're a sophomore. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. Now you just had a pretty successful weekend. Want to take us through first off the event you participated in and how you did?
I competed in the men's heptathlon along with Jalen Hendrickson and Bo Ackerman, and we had a pretty good weekend. We finished with a total of 11 team points we came away with, and yeah.
Personally, you won the event and also will be competing at nationals in that. Is that correct?
It's kind of just depends because you have to be top 16, so we'll just see how that all kind of shakes out.
Sure. But last year, dating back to the spring track season, you made it in nationals in that event, correct?
Yep, I did. I made it outdoors in the decathlon, and that competed and took 13th in Gulf Shores, Alabama.
All right. Now, track isn't the only place you represent DSU. Talk a little bit about your football experience and how that carries over.
Yep, I'm on the football team. I've been on the football team for 2 years, and I play outside linebacker.
Throughout high school, have you always been track, football? Which one kind of which one helps with the other? Is it just kind of both mutually beneficial?
I've been in both all my life, and I think they both help out each other, and it's just good participating in two sports and just staying active.
Now, in addition to being successful in both on the football field and on the track, you were on the president's list this last fall. Is that correct?
Yep. I got a 4.0 last semester. I was lucky enough to get some good teachers, and just was lucky enough to come away with some good grades.
So talk about the overall experience at DSU. You know, kind of from Bismarck. What was it like deciding to come here, and how you enjoyed that decision?
I mean, it was an easy decision to come to Dickinson State just because of the great people and the great coaches that surround the community, and I couldn't be happier with my decision.
Now, you touched on Jay, who's also competed in both football and track. How many of those athletes do you kind of have? Not necessarily just football, track, but multiple sports, including track.
I mean, we have a lot. I mean, specifically, we do have a lot of track and football athletes, and it's good just to pair them up, just because most of your best athletes are able to do two sports.
Does that camaraderie kind of start in the fall and extend into the spring? What are the team dynamics like with those
Definitely.
guys?
I mean, it's whenever you get the guys together in this fall and you're just working together on the football field, it just makes it the transition to track a lot easier.
All right, now, obviously, hopefully you make it to the indoor decathlon nationals, but talk about your spring goals for outdoor track and field.
I just want to really just work hard and then just keep improving. That's really all you can ask for.
All righty, thank you for your time. Congratulations on a good weekend.